I made the perfect Kevin Durant build for NBA 2K25. This build will be able to put the ball on the floor and get shifty with it. Hit tightly contested jumpers like it's nobody's business. Burst and speed boost out of a lot of crazy combos and hit some tough three-pointers and ridiculous contested shots. I'm talking about breaking ankles of some of the best defenders in the game, shifting them around and countering with some fast crossover launches. And what if I told you that it was also an elite slasher that has the ability to use some overpowered moves? And better yet, it's also an unstoppable post scorer. So we're gonna break the build down, give you a lot of options on how to tweak it to fit your playstyle. But believe me, you're gonna want to build this first one that I'm about to show you. Alright, we're going to start with the physicals. 6'10". We're going to put the wingspan all the way down to 6'10" and weight just at around 211 pounds, and that's going to be important. Okay, first let's start with the core part of this build, and what I want this build to be is an absolute knockdown shooter. So we're going to max out our mid-range at 94. And already you see we can get gold Deadeye and set shot specialist on Hall of Fame, making this a very strong spot up build to begin with. Next, we're just going to raise the 3-point shot to, let's start with an 85 to get limitless range. We can reduce 3-point shot later on, but the real part of why I really wanted to make my mid-range at a 94 was in order to get post-fade Phenom on Legend. Yes, no cap breakers needed. We're going to go to 96 for our post control. You'll see why later on. And at the core part of this build is going to be post-fade Phenom that will bail us out in a lot of situations where in certain matchups we may not have the advantage in a particular aspect of the game, but post-fade Phenom on Legend is so good it's gonna bail us out. Another benefit, of course, is that we get gold unpluckable, which will always help us as a KD type dribbling build. So with that, let's go to ball handle directly to 77. Just to get ankle assassin on bronze, handles for days on bronze, strong handle on silver. Then we're going to put speed with ball at 68, just enough to get us lightning launch on bronze. But what's going to be the other core part of this build? We're going to max out our strength to 86, and what that does is it gives a strong handle on Hall of Fame, which is going to be the second core part of this build. So what we have right now is a shot creating KD type of build that's going to be a crazy good shooter, crazy good spot up with limitless capabilities, and at the same time a super effective post player. But the next thing that we'll do to unlock this build even further is to put our agility at 72, which will give a shifty shooter on gold. Can't be a KD type build without shifty shooter. It's just not possible. We're talking about mid-range, spin shots, step back jumpers. So with that, we're now going to go into our driving layup, which is going to be the third part of this build. That's going to take us to the next level. You can settle for 90 just to get gold physical finisher, which I'm a huge believer in, but 93 gold gives us layup mix master on gold. For this playstyle and for this build, it's going to be absolutely essential. We're going to put close shot to 92 just so that we can get paint prodigy on gold, another essential badge, and float game on Hall of Fame is a nice bonus. So with that, we're going to go next. Since this is a big man, we're also going to have to do certain big man things. We're going to put interior defense at 74, perimeter defense at 72, which gives us a movable enforcer on silver and challenger on bronze. This build isn't going to be a lockdown build. This is going to be primarily a crazy offensive build. And this is the baseline of where I want to begin. Not interested in steals, not interested in blocks. What we have here is what we're going to work with. We're going to put defensive rebound max at 80 to give a silver box out and rebound chaser. Offensive rebound will leave as is. Speed, we bring it up to 70. This is one area where I wish I could bring it up a little bit more, but it is what it is. Then we're going to put vertical at 63 to get pogo stick on bronze. We're going to throw our pass accuracy up to a 78 because we want to make sure we're also able to play make from our game in the perimeter, and then just max out our free throw. Once this build is done, what you'll have is a build with the shades of Jason Tatum, Tobias Harris, and Bobby Portis Jr. The base of this build as a KD build is absolutely insane. I'll talk you through the core vision and gameplay style of this build. Let's see what this build has in terms of signature animations. For now, I've got it on Kevin Durant, and you'll see why later on why that's important. Free throw is whatever. Layup style Giannis, in my opinion, is really good. Go-to shot is Kevin Durant. Dribble pull-up Kevin Durant. Spin jumper Dirk, but KD is also a good option, or you can do any of the normal spin jumpers if you like. Hop jumper is KD. I'll show you why later on. Post fade is KD, super overpowered, and it's going to be the core of our build. Post hook, you can do Kareem, you can do Giannis, it is whatever. It's not going to be a move that I use a lot. Post hop shot is Dirk, though I also like Harrison Barnes. Then we got De'Aaron Fox pass style, KD dribble style, which is going to be important. Signature size ups, I love Ben Simmons. It's very deliberate, very slow. I love it for change of pace dribble moves. Regular breakdown will be Giannis. Aggressive breakdown will be Paolo. Escape moves will be Giannis, but you can also do KD. Combo moves would be KD. Crossover would be Paolo Banchero. Behind the back KD. Spin KD. Hezi KD. Triple threat style is Steph. These are the animations that I'll work with, and I'll show you why this is more than enough to take your game to the next level. So before dropping some hard-earned VC on a build, I always recommend you guys to create that player in my NBA with the build template that you've already created. See how it plays for you, test it out against some elite defenders in Hall of Fame difficulty. Bring it through the paces against different types of builds in my NBA, and you'll see whether this playstyle will work for you. And as you can see, I built this Kevin Durant build around the ability to shot create, dribble off the floor, do all those Kevin Durant types of things, but also I added a little bit of Nikola Jokic, I added a little bit of Zebo in there, give him a little bit of that back to the basket sauce that KD doesn't necessarily have, at least from a low post position. But otherwise, this KD build will perform exactly how you expect a KD build to perform, hit some of the craziest shots in the game, and basically be an unstoppable offensive force that we take to the next level with an elite post game and an elite slashing game that takes advantage of a few key overpowered badges. So at the baseline, since point guards don't necessarily want to share the ball, if you want to limit this build to a catch and shoot or basic 1-2 pull-up build, it absolutely is that. That 94 mid-range with an 85 3-ball, Hall of Fame set shot specialist, and gold Deadeye is going to make you an elite shooter in NBA 2K25, especially against smaller guards. If you got a smaller dude on you, just let that fly, and even against some of the best locks in the game. So here I'm trying it out against Jaden McDaniels in my NBA, and Kawhi Leonard. Look at how easy and smooth that was. Even taking some ridiculous shots, man, it was so money. And even with a 77 ball handle and 68 speed with ball, man, if you learn how to use the Kevin Durant dribble style to your advantage and use cancels out of his go-to shots and hop jumper package, you are gonna be an unbelievable shot creator with this build. I put it through the paces even against some of the best defenders in the NBA, and my word, this dude can cook. Get on an island against a bigger, slower matchup with no perimeter defense, that is easy work. Go up against a smaller defender with none of the elite defensive badges and you'll be able to get to the basket at will. I've been able to master a lot of different speed boosts for this type of build. When people think the Kevin Durant dribble style is not very shifty, think again. I've unlocked the sauce for Kevin Durant in terms of putting the ball on the floor and using that dribble style with speed boosts that you wouldn't even expect. If you want a dribble tutorial for 610 builds using this particular template, let me know in the comment section below and give the video a thumbs up. And this is why we put post control to 96. As expensive as it is, that gold unpluckable is a key thing. More importantly, the 78 pass accuracy gives us the ability to also play, create, and make some nice passes to our teammates. But also the fact that we get Shifty shooter on gold with the potential to put it to Hall of Fame with the max +1 is crazy to think for a 610 build. Man, this build can cook. Because of its height, because of its ratings and badges, it has the ability to shot create and do all sorts of nonsense even against some of the best defenders in the league. I know a lot of people don't like that KD hop jumper package, but believe me, it creates a lot of distance if you set things up very well, especially in combination with a lot of these speed boosts that I'm showing you. As long as you put pressure towards the basket, and that's going to be an important point, which I'll discuss in a little bit, you will have the ability to create so much space for yourself, especially using some of KD's go-to shots and signature shot animations. With Bronze Ankle Assassin and Gold Shifty Shooter, it's gonna be so fun to break your defenders down. And at the core of this build is that 86 strength with the combination of Hall of Fame strong handle and gold physical finisher. I built my combos for this particular build to use strong handle as much as I can. You saw it right there, how I slipped past LeBron James with an easy spin. This move right here, that is strong handle, and if you know the combos to get to it, you are going to be so unstoppable. Combine that with Gold Layup Mixmaster and you have an unguardable slasher. But at the core of this build is Legend Post Fade Phenom, and with KD's incredible post fadeaway jumper, this is an insanely unguardable move. I've tested it out against guys with strength advantages, perimeter defense and interior defense, and all sorts of crazy defensive badges, and Jesus, this dude is insane. Forget everything else, this is going to be our number one bailout shot for this build. And when combination with a lot of advanced post moves, it can get really deadly. But we're not just talking about hitting post fades in the post. I'm also going to drop an advanced post video which shows you how to use post moves in a perimeter attack setting. And because we get Hall of Fame post-up poet, those nice drives out of post spins are gonna be so deadly. Legend Post Fade Phenom in combination with our ability to move and groove in the post is gonna make us next level unguardable. And in that advanced post video, I will show you some of these secret, smooth and sexy post moves that you will absolutely have to have in your post bag. And as good as this build is offensively, perhaps maybe you want a different version that's more well-rounded. So now let's say you want to make a more well-rounded KD build with the ability to block, steal the basketball, and let's say you want to still remain that elite level of finisher, but maybe you want to instead become a better playmaker. Well, what we're going to do here is going to bring driving layup down to a 90, close shot down to an 85 to keep our post control still at 90, which gives us Legend Post Fade Phenom. However, we do lose Post Up Poet on Hall of Fame and Golden Pluckable, which are two of my favorite secondary badges for this build, but it is what it is. Let's bring down 3-pointer to 83. And what we're gonna do to start is bring up interior defense up to an 88. Let's say you want to be a better post defender, not too comfortable with 74 as an interior big, especially in the fives. That should have you covered. Let's say keep block at 74 just to get bronze paint patroller and bronze high flying denier. Let's get steal up to a 67 just to get gold bronze glove and bronze interceptor. And from here we can bring up our pass accuracy up to an 87, which will give us gold break starter, gold dimer, giving us a little bit more points to bring that up. Let's say we eventually want to get to gold layup mix master. Let's put one attribute point to driving layup just so we minimize the impact on cap breakers, and then let's just fill up our free throw up to a 90. And what you'll have from this build is a build with shades of Andre Kirilenko, Jason Tatum, and Tobias Harris. And those subtle tweaks to the build template gives us a two-way, three-level point 4, which in my opinion is going to be a very versatile build, which a lot of players will be more comfortable with, especially if you have no interest in playing in the post. But this is the lowest I'll go in terms of post control, since this build is built around Legend Post Fade Phenom. Now let's say you want a third alternative where you want a build that can dunk a little bit better. Fine. Let's lower driving layup down to an 80 just so we can still get that Giannis layup package. Okay. One thing we'll have to sacrifice is our pass accuracy, now down to a 78. We're gonna have to sacrifice interior defense down to back to a 74, which is the lowest I'd recommend you go. And then we're just gonna beef up driving dunk. And the max we can go is 80. So now that we got our driving dunk to 80 and our driving layup at 80, which is important so that we can still get silver physical finisher, what we now want to do is just basically optimize the build a little bit more. So put vertical to 65 so we can get bronze posterizer. We're not going to be able to get anything significant on standing dunk. So let's say we just put our extra points up into free throw just to max it out a lot more. And then just maybe steal. And then there you have it. This build will give you dunks, but I prefer the build with a high layup rating, to be honest with you. I think that's going to unlock this build, but these are basically options and showing you how to basically tweak the build to your liking. Now we get a shot creating 3-level threat. So the core of the build really is legend, post-fade phenom, Hall of Fame, strong handle, and our ability to finish at all 3 levels. And there you have it. This is gonna be my first build for NBA 2K25. Put it through the paces, put it through extensive testing in my NBA, and I can't wait to build it in my career and take it to its paces online. I'm super confident in this build because I've just basically put it through the paces in some very extreme situations in my NBA and Hall of Fame difficulty. This build is gonna be crazy. Me personally, I'm still considering between the shot creating 3-level scorer and the two-way 3-level 0.4. I think there's some value in being that versatile, but you know me, man, my build philosophy is to go hard on certain aspects of the game, and with Hall of Fame physical finisher and our ability to be an elite slasher, setting everything up with our dribble game, with our shooting. That is just a compelling combination of skills that I really want to get into. For my first build in NBA 2K25, I considered remaking my chef build. I reconsidered making my book build or my Paul George build. I think those builds are still gonna be fine with some tweaks based on my 2K24 build settings, but for now, what I really wanted to do was do something different. And this KD build, in my opinion, is gonna be so incredibly game-changing in terms of how I play 2K online. If you're interested in why I made this build the way it is because I used KD in Play Now Online and dropped 48 points with him, and it was absolutely insane. If you want a tutorial on how to make these 610 builds move and groove, give the video a thumbs up and let me know in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one.